Welcome back to another episode of Teams on Air. You're joining us for a very special episode. We've taken Teams on the air, and now we're broadcasting live from Enterprise Connect in Orlando, Florida. If you don't know what Enterprise Connect is, it's a 27-year conference that brings industry experts, analysts, consultants, vendors, and customers together to talk about issues in enterprise communication and collaboration. This week we want to show you a couple of things. First, we want to show you Lori's general session where she talked about, is team collaboration ready for enterprise communication? Then we'll also show you an interview with Ilya Bukshteyan, who can talk about some of the innovation around shared devices, personal devices, and mobile. And then lastly, we'll take you behind the scenes of Bob Davis's general session, where we'll go a little deeper into some of the announcements made here at Enterprise Connect.
We announced, as many of you know, that we were taking Skype for Business and bringing that into Teams. So within Office 365, the Skype for Business client goes away and Teams becomes the hero client going forward. And that's because we believe that collabs and communication are inextricably linked. And going forward, we continue to look and say, how do we build on this foundation, taking the decade of learning from the Skype infrastructure, being able to build this next generation platform, and be able to truly roll this out sitting on top of the Office productivity suite. We're a year into this and just have a lot of really terrific production use cases and stories, ranging from small companies up to the largest companies in the world. Today, we just put out a case study from General Motors. General Motors is now using Teams, and it's really exciting to see how they're using it. But there's one recent story that I just love that I wanted to share with you all today, and it's a company called Red Lion Hotels. And Red Lion Hotels was a Pacific Northwest regional hotel chain with about 60 hotels. And in a 3-year period, they went from 60 hotels to 1,100 hotels, becoming a national chain. And they realized that they needed the tools to actually help them in this journey. They needed to change the way they were communicating, break down from just using email and point-in-time communications, and really focus more on ad hoc, real-time collab that they could do knowledge share really quickly, they could find the experts, they could keep the whole organization moving along this journey. And so they chose Teams because they were already using the Office 365 suite. They had Power BI, they had Azure, and with all of it together, it just really made sense. And they could also plug in their third-party applications. And so the CEO, Greg Mount, he did something that I just think is fantastic. And he put an email autoresponder on that said, should you send this to Teams, ? And we was really trying to force and change the behavior of his employees to make sure they were right-sizing email and putting the communication where it needed to be. And so Teams has really been foundational to their growth, and it's exciting to see their success.
At the pace of business today and the evolution of business in a digital world, there's a strong desire to move faster.
Atkins employees have traditionally communicated through email, through third-party conferencing tools.
Our people at Mott MacDonald use Skype for Business online every single day. You've got the full power of the Mott MacDonald community right at your fingertips.
Microsoft Cloud voice services make it extremely easy for employees to collaborate.
Since all of our employees are using Skype for Business, we're introducing Teams across the organization as well.
It puts the communications right alongside the content, and that's what you really need for collaboration.
Without having to travel, we can come together much quicker, make decisions, and an important factor is how we're able to communicate with and collaborate with our clients and our partners.
The reaction from people has been incredibly positive. They can share screens, they can share files, they can work collaboratively on documents.
We're driving that editing on the fly within the Teams environment, so the entire team can see that editing.
The ability to use it across multiple devices and multiple modalities is important to us.
The data's secure. People can only see what they're invited to see.
My #1 used feature is the animated GIF. We're trying to drive a cultural change in terms of how people collaborate and work together.
Each of the channels is customizable and extensible. It's that ability to configure your channel as you need it.
We've started to use the cloud recording feature in Microsoft Teams meetings. Once the recording is finished, it appears in the channel, so you can easily refer back to stuff.
This experience for employees is very important because it supports our vision of agile working.
With intelligent communications, we're really excited to see employees flawlessly communicate with their colleagues and their customers. A communication tool has to scale across the globe. Microsoft is right in the middle of that.
The way that Teams operates is the way of our world today and where it's going versus the way that maybe the corporate world operated before.
So we're here with Ilya Bukshteyan. Thanks for joining us today. I really want to know about all the announcements that we made with Teams and our native devices. Tell me more what's happening.
Sure. So the very first thing that we're super excited about is Teams actually coming to a broad range of devices. And when I say Teams, I mean the native Teams experience coming to every device that people really need at work. And along with that, we're actually also bringing natural language interaction through Cortana in Teams to all of those devices. When we think about devices, we think about personal devices, things I would use, and shared devices, things we'd maybe use together in a conference room. So starting with personal devices, probably the most commonly used communication device is a desk phone. And we are partnering to bring out a new generation of phones that natively run Teams. Exact same user experience as you would have on the PC, the mobile phone, now on your desk phone. The first of these devices is going to come from Yealink. It's the phone I have on my desk, the T58A. And that's going to be followed shortly by a phone from Audio Codes and later some of our other partners. All of these phones have a beautiful big touch screen. I can scroll and move through the whole Teams experience. But they also have a dial pad, a handset, all the things you would expect from a phone. And so not only can you call people, but one of the things I love is I can have the meeting schedule up on that nice big beautiful screen right in line of sight, have it there all day.
Nice. Well, you noticed you talked about the dial pad, but honestly, I can't remember anybody's phone number. So can I be able, with the skills feature in Cortana, be able to just say, call Ilya?
Yeah, absolutely. One of our key focuses in bringing Teams to devices is to make everyday tasks easier. So I said I've got my meeting schedule up on the screen. Of course, I can just join any meeting with one touch right on the phone. But like you said, sometimes you need to call people. And most of the time when I do that, I actually have to call multiple people at once. Well, of course, you can pick up the handset and dial a phone number. But because we have Cortana in Teams, you can also just ask Cortana to do it for you.
Well, with Cortana, all we have to do is ask. Call Delanda Coleman and James Skay. Cortana heard me, is doing exactly what I want. It's just that easy.
Nice.
So whether you pick up the handset or you hit the speakerphone, instead of getting that decades-old dial tone, you actually get Cortana. And so I can say, call Delanda and James, and instead of hitting 52 keys for a three-way call, Cortana will just do it for me. And it's not just calling. All the skills that we have in Teams also come to devices. So I'll be able to do things like ask who Delanda is and get all your information.
Nice.
All those same skills now on a wide variety of devices.
Okay, fantastic. Now you talked about these personal devices.
Yep.
Tell me about what's happening in the shared devices space.
Sure. So this is an area I love. I've been working in meeting room devices for a while. And again, it starts with that really exciting foundation of bringing Teams to every device. So first of all, for open collaboration spaces, we have our very own Surface Hub. And just in the next couple of months, we'll be doing an update, bringing the full native Teams experience to the hub.
Wow.
Moving from that, we've got our Skype room systems, which you and I both know and love. We actually launched those here about a year ago at the Enterprise Connect show. We will be doing an update that brings Teams out to every Skype room system. Every Skype room system gets that.
So for customers who already purchased the Skype room system, will their devices be updated?
Absolutely. So this is going to be an update that we put out very, very soon for the Skype room system software. And all of our systems from all of our now 5 partners will then be able to join Teams meetings. That, by the way, is the other thing we're very excited about. We have 2 new partners, 2 new devices for Skype room systems. So of course, the device that was out first was from Logitech, and that's had huge success in the market. That was joined by Polycom, Crestron, and then at this show we're announcing availability of the really cool integrated Lenovo device. It's got a console, audio, compute all built in, and then the HP device. The HP is a really modular device, so it's available with a standalone console screen, compute, and an audio module on that compute. All those devices will be able to join Teams meetings, and all of those devices will get Cortana in Teams. So even when you're in a room, you'll be able to just touch a button and say, add Delanda to my meeting. No more having to scroll through names or type on an on-screen keyboard. Just ask Cortana to do that for you.
Nice. So the personal devices and the shared devices that all have the same capabilities but are optimized for the scenario that they're in.
That's right. And because they're both running Teams, we're also going to do some better together scenarios. So we're also announcing that Skype Room Systems will be getting an update that enables proximity detection. And so you can walk into any room, not one that you've scheduled, any room with Teams on your laptop or on your mobile device, and pull that Skype Room System into your meeting. It'll show up in the new Teams pre-join screen. Not only is it real easy to pull in the Skype Room System, but because we know you're in the same room, your laptop or mobile will join in content-only mode. No more annoying howling when you've got multiple devices joined.
Nice. So the intelligence is, I guess, location aware, right? So now wherever you're going, the device can actually be smart enough to know that there's a Skype Room System or a Surface Hub that you can connect to.
It's for Teams meetings. We're really bringing that intelligence to the device and then across device.
All right, so that's great to hear about all the things that are going on with the phones and the Skype Room System. Are there any other innovations that our partners are bringing?
Yeah, our partners continue to amaze us with their investment in Teams, in Skype Room Systems, and the innovations they bring. So at this show, jointly with Logitech, we're announcing a cool new update to their Conference Cam series of peripherals. And it's an integrated device, camera, speakers, microphones. The cool new thing is that it actually will have the intelligence to detect people, even partial people, in the lens field of view. And not only will it then be able to frame the picture on the people in the room, so you're not staring at like tiny little people at the end of a conference table, but because it detects people, it also keeps a count of how many people in the room. And it'll pass that back to Microsoft Teams. And so for IT administrators, one of the really key goals is figuring out how rooms are utilized. And we'll be able to give them the data they need with a count of people in each meeting.
Wow, so if I could think about this, you can not only see how many times the room has been scheduled, how many times that it's been ad hoc, someone just walks in, and then you can see how many people are physically in the room. So you can get lots of rich information on utilization.
Yeah, we think it'll be really valuable.
Cool. All right, so before we go, the last question that I want to ask is about mobile scenarios. And you're sometimes, like you said, you're walking in between meetings, and one of the devices that you always carry with you is your mobile device. So tell me how that can be brought into the meeting.
Well, again, it starts with Teams. The Teams mobile app is really, really full featured. It's everything you get in Teams desktop. It's become, for me, the first thing I do in the morning when I grab my phone is I now look at Teams. That's where all my work related stuff is. What we're doing is investing a lot in that experience to make it richer when you're in Teams meetings. So used to be that maybe at most you could join a meeting and get audio. What we're announcing here is you can join the meeting from Teams mobile and actually control PowerPoint content. You can share your screen on your iPhone or iOS device, and you can share the video from the device's camera. So you can really be totally a first-class citizen in that meeting, all from your mobile phone.
Wow, so from your mobile phone, you can live stream exactly what you're seeing to the other online meeting participants.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, that's a lot of features and a lot of intelligent capabilities built into devices. So thank you for you and your team and our partners for doing such a fantastic job. So thanks.
Thanks, Delanda.
All right. We also had the Teams on Air podcast studio where I had exclusive interviews with some of my colleagues and some of our device partners to talk about the latest innovation that's happening. We've made over $13 billion in investment in artificial intelligence, AR, VR, speech technologies, whiteboarding technologies, and even telephony. If you'd like to learn more about these interviews and hear them, make sure you rate and subscribe to our podcast in iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere podcasts are available. This will be exclusive bonus content.
It's time for intelligent communications. Intelligent communications is a broad and long-term vision for our industry, and Microsoft, together with our ecosystem of partners, is so excited to lead the way. Our vision for intelligent communication builds on the amazing work our entire industry has done and continues to do around unified communications. But with intelligent communications, we now forge a new path, a new vision for what we should expect from our communications tools.
Hi, we just wrapped up the Microsoft keynote here at Enterprise Connect, and I'm here with an exclusive backstage interview with Bob Davis, our Corporate Vice President of Office 365. Bob, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, it's great to be here, Delanda, for my second interview of this conference.
That's right. Bob was actually on our podcast, so if you want to check out that interview, make sure that you download the Teams on Air podcast. Last year, we were here at Enterprise Connect and we showcased a lot of innovation with Teams and Skype working side by side together. And we also launched the Skype Room system. What have we done in the last year?
Yeah, it's been an incredible year of progress. It's fascinating to look back. But you know, last year we talked about a new, well, since that time, we talked about a new Skype backend infrastructure. We launched intelligent communications. We've had cloud video interop. We've introduced new hardware device partners, just an incredible amount of change during that time. But most importantly has been our 1-year anniversary of Teams. Last year, on this day, we launched Microsoft Teams. We G8'd it, and it's just incredible to look at the progress since then. And when we launched it, we really talked about it as just a chat-based workspace. But now it's really a hub for teamwork, and we've introduced intelligent communications, and most importantly, our communications with our collaboration together during that time, forming intelligent communications. That's really the message that we've delivered at the conference this week.
This week we announced a few delighters in our intelligent communication vision. How are we advancing on that vision?
Yeah, well, it's useful to think just how far we've come in 1 year, but the advances that we've made in artificial intelligence and machine learning in the product really shone through in the conference today.
Mm-hmm. I agree. One of the things that I think there are a lot of components that go into the intelligent communications vision. Talk to me about what are the investments that we're making?
Yeah, well, first off, we've got the Office Graph. And we've brought intelligence through the Office Graph to many of our security, productivity, and developer products. We're bringing that same intelligence capability, leveraging the Office 365 Graph, to our communication and collaboration experiences. Things like being able to find people who might be able to help you on a project, being able to bring people into the meeting just by simply saying their name, the ability to translate and transcript some of the information that we have in Microsoft Teams has been extraordinary. We've also been investing heavily. I mean, we have $13 billion of investments. We also have 120 million people that use Office 365, and our ability to take the signals that those 120 million people are using, every email, every file, every message that they send, and serve that up to individuals to help make them more productive is an example of some of the investments that we're making.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about how that's changing the landscape of connecting with people, but paint a picture of what intelligent communications could unlock for collaboration.
Yeah, we demoed quite a few of those today. If you think about things like translation and breaking down language barriers, it's amazing to have people be able to communicate in their native language from anywhere and be able to use that information, to be able to find information, to have people be able to communicate. We also introduced Blur. on stage today, and blur allows you to, as you know, to blur out the background, maybe when you're at home and maybe there's a distraction going on in the background, you're at a coffee shop, or maybe you're even in your office and you have confidential information on the whiteboard. Being able to blur that out allows people to participate and connect in a meeting with confidence, which is really great. We've also introduced new devices that bring insights into a meeting, so it's very easy to connect using the devices, but not only just connect, but also gain information like how many people are in the meeting, you know, how many people were invited, how many people are in there, how frequently is that meeting room being used, all exceptional information that we can serve back to our customers to help them make these spaces more valuable to them.
I know in your role, you talk to a lot of customers and they're really excited. So tell me what you think that they're most excited about. Yeah,
we have over 200,000 customers using Teams right now. That's up from 125,000 that we had just 6 months ago. We have 70% of our enterprise customers using Teams in parallel. And what they are excited about is the ability for people to connect from across their organization in new and creative ways and really help transform the way they communicate and collaborate.
I love that, and I'd really like to understand your experience as a leader of leaders and a very large organization. How has Teams transformed?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I do have a large organization, and in the past there was always this sort of command and control structure where, you know, I would say something, it would filter down through my organization. It was rare that I would get information about what was really happening on the ground level. And my team works directly with customers, and so knowing what's happening directly with customers is absolutely invaluable to me. And so we have really flatten the organization using Teams. That doesn't mean that there aren't still reporting relationships that exist, but I am absolutely in the know about what is happening at every level of my organization, and that's incredibly valuable to me. For example, we have a channel for customer engagements, and when people are working with a customer, you know, inevitably customers ask you questions that you just don't know, but being able to post it in that channel and bringing the power of, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people in my organization to help contribute to solving the problem or answering the question that the customer had is just so empowering. Before, it was trying to find the right person that could help with that. It was just, if you think about it, especially now that we use Teams, if you think about how inefficient the old way of communicating was, it just makes you think that you just could never go back to that.
Yeah. Well, Bob, thank you. My last question before you go. I know that we've positioned Microsoft Teams as the hub for teamwork, and we really look for teams that are inspiring, that have a true sense of purpose, and have great people on them. So if you could be on any team, because you're a great person, and any size, shape, or function, which team would it be?
Well, I'm just going to go back to a team that I was on in my youth. So in high school, I was on a soccer team. For my high school, actually, we were quite good. We didn't like win the state championship or anything, but we were really good. But I always remember playing on that team because when we operated as a team, we could actually do amazing things. We were much better than the sum of our individual parts, right? Like our coach would call out a play, and we would run that play to perfection. Maybe 6 different people had to touch the ball before it scored or something like that. And I remember the feeling of absolute joy when we would run that play to perfection. And so, you know, I think about that at work. Like, what does it feel to be like in a great team, and having that feeling of where everyone is contributing. And it's nice with Microsoft Teams to actually get everybody to contribute in ways they haven't been able to in the past.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And so just to wrap up, we had 1 year of Teams, and we advanced our intelligent communication vision. So thanks, Bob.
My pleasure. Thank you, Delanda.
Before I leave, I want to share a really exciting story. About 40 companies submitted an application for Best in Show at Enterprise Connect. 6 finalists were chosen, and dun-da-da-da, we won! It's so exciting, and I'm so proud of the team for such an awesome job that they did, not only here at Enterprise Connect, but also back in Redmond, just delivering on the innovation to make Microsoft Teams an awesome solution. All right, that wraps up this week of Teams on Air. I hope you enjoy the show. We'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about direct routing, where we'll have a guest, Nikolai, to go a lot deeper into the technology and the innovation that we're shipping. All right, see you in 2 weeks.